Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's discussion is going to be on part number 4 of Essay 210, and today we're going to discuss about initial audit engagement. Before we get on with the discussion, I would like to thank a very dear subscriber of mine, Avantika Ganesh, for a constant support and motivation in the comment section, without which it would have not been possible to carry on with these discussions on a regular basis. So thank you so much, Avantika Ganesh. Keep supporting the way you are. So let's get on with the discussion. Initial audit engagement. So I had given you an example in the previous discussion wherein I told you there's a start accountant named A, CAA, and he's going to audit for A Limited for the very first time in this year 1920. So this is one example of initial audit engagement. Now one of my subscribers, Tofik, asked me to specify what are the other cases in which it can be called as initial audit engagement, and rightly said so. So I'm going to specify that to you right now. So basically guys, the other scenario if you discuss could be what, there can be a situation where in the year 2015-16, okay, say in the year 2015-16, I had audited, or not me, I mean sorry, CAA had audited this company A Limited in 2015-16. Now in the year 17-18, 16-17, there was some other auditor, they appointed some other auditor. Why? Because some reason, some misunderstanding between A and CAA and A Limited, so they appointed a different auditor. He carried on the audit. That auditor, name him CAB. That CAB audited A Limited for the next 2 years. Now again after these 2 years, they bring back the A Limited offer CAA the audit one more time. He takes it up after understanding and agreeing the terms of audit engagement in the very beginning. So even in this situation, even though this client is known to this guy now, CAA knows A Limited, but there was a gap, there was no continuity. So what is the distinguishing factor between initial audit engagement and recurring audit in this case? The continuity. In recurring audit, for 15-16 also this guy only does, 16-17 also this guy does, 17-18 also this guy does. So that's an example for recurring audit. When it is recurring in nature, this continuity is there. That's why it's called as continuous. But initial audit engagement, it can be either for the very first time, or there can be, you might have done it for in a previous period, but there might be a gap wherein some other auditor might have done the audit. Okay guys, and then now again you are going to do audit for the first time after a long time. So even though it is not exactly a first time, but because of the gap you will treat it as a first time. So this is why it's called as initial audit engagement. Okay guys, so let's read this. Initial audit engagement, an engagement in which either the financial statements for the prior period were not audited. So the first example wherein he audits the current year only for the first time, okay, all the financial statements for the prior period were audited by some other auditor, by a previous auditor, by a predecessor auditor. Okay, so either an engagement which is either in which either the financial statements are not audited at all for the prior period, okay, by CAA, okay, and he's getting for the very first time. That is the first sentence over here. Or the financial statements for the prior period were audited by a predecessor auditor, previous auditor, okay, and that's also called as initial audit engagement. So the definition for initial audit engagement is very simple: an engagement in which either the financial statements of the prior period were not audited, or the financial statements for the prior period were audited by a predecessor auditor. Okay, now in the case of initial audit engagement, there can be two situations. The management might either impose limitations, or there are no limitations imposed by management. So the first situation is the management imposes limitations. Second is no limitations are imposed by management. If the management imposes limitations, as an auditor you are supposed to not accept, do not accept unless it is required by the statute or the law. So if the management imposes limitations in the case of initial audit engagement, as an auditor do not accept such an engagement unless it is required by law or any statute. Okay guys, so this is one part which we discussed. Second part is what? If no limitations are imposed by management. So management has not put any limitations, but as an auditor it is your duty to ascertain the existence of certain preconditions. These preconditions I have discussed in essay 210 part number 2, okay, in a separate video. So please do go and check it out. But here I'm going to discuss it in a very small gist. So what are preconditions for an audit? So you have to determine whether the FRF, Financial Reporting Framework, is acceptable. Okay. So basically FRF is what? Ind AS, AS in the case of India, applicable financial reporting framework. Right. So FRF is set of financial reporting that you are using in your country or in the geographical location you are settled in. Okay. So determine whether the FRF is acceptable. So as an auditor, you have to determine whether the FRF the management has used in the preparation of financial statement is acceptable or not. This is the first precondition. What is the second precondition? You have to obtain agreement of management stating that it understands its responsibilities. Management has certain responsibilities relating to the preparation of financial statements, relating to allowing the auditor to access books of accounts and the other documents. It also has to allow the auditor to inquire the employees in the organization. Okay, so all these are the responsibilities of the management. But you need this in as an agreement. You have to obtain an agreement for the same from the management, stating that it's understanding these responsibilities. Okay, so these are the preconditions for an audit. So if the management is not imposing any limitation, does not mean that you should not straight away accept the audit. Before accepting, you should what? Ascertain the existence of precondition, which is discussed now. Okay, now if this existence of precondition you have checked, now if these preconditions exist, then you have to accept the audit. What do you have to do? You have to accept the audit. But if these preconditions do not exist, what? It does not exist, you have to make a discussion with the management. You have to discuss this matter with the management. Right? So management's sir, there's some problem. I have checked for the preconditions for the audit. I think the FRF is not correctly applied, and also I feel that some of the responsibilities of the management are not being met with. I'm not being given the access to books of accounts. I'm not being allowed to check with the employees of the organization to know more about the audit. So you have to discuss any problem which you're getting. You have to discuss the matter with the management. Now after you have discussed the matter with management, there can be two cases. Why will you do this? As I said, you will not accept audit in case of unacceptable FRF or management does not agree with responsibilities. You will, when the preconditions do not exist, you have to discuss the matter with the management. Why will this occur? Because of two conditions. Why do the preconditions not exist? What are the preconditions? First is FRF should be acceptable. So when it does not exist means what? That there is unacceptable FRF. It is not acceptable FRF, right? Or what is the other case? The management does not agree the responsibilities. Second case. So wherever you're going to accept the audit, no? That means when you're accepting the audit, you can carry on with the audit procedures. You can collect the data, check for information, verify, vouch, all that you can do, okay, and give a proper reporting and conclusion. But in the case when the management has the ball now, he has to correct something, agrees to that, then you have to accept the audit. But if the management does not agree to that, then you have to withdraw from that engagement. Do not enter into the engagement. Okay guys, so simply speaking, initial audit engagement is an engagement in which either the financial statements for the prior period were not audited, or the financial statements for the prior period were audited by a predecessor auditor. Initial audit engagement can be divided into two parts, where the management imposes limitations and where the management does not impose any limitation. If the management imposes limitations, you are not supposed to, as an auditor, to accept under any, unless it is required by any law. Unless it is required by law, not accept that audit engagement. But if there are no limitations which are imposed with the management, you have to ascertain the existence of preconditions. What are the preconditions? Firstly, you have to determine whether the financial reporting framework is acceptable. Secondly, you have to obtain agreement of the management stating the responsibilities, okay, and that it understands the responsibilities. After you ascertain the existence of preconditions, you have to see whether they exist or do not exist. If they exist, you have to accept the audit. But if they do not exist, you have to discuss the same with the management. Why will this not exist? In two cases. When you have to not accept the audit, you have to not accept the audit in such a case. Okay, when the FRF is not acceptable, there is unacceptable FRF, or when the management is not agreeing or understanding its responsibilities. But however, after the discussion with the matter with the management, if the management is now understanding it, then you can go ahead and making some changes, then you can go ahead with the audit and accept the audit. But if the management is still not changing or using the right FRF or not understanding the responsibilities, then it's better as an auditor, as the objective of SA 210, you stated by SA 210, it's better for you to withdraw from the engagement in such a situation. So thank you so much, guys. Please keep the love showering up. Do keep supporting my channel. Please do like, share, subscribe. Use the comment section below. I want to know your feedbacks. So please keep supporting. Thank you so much. Bye.